Before we get into today's topic, if you are new here, welcome. This channel is updated every single day with the latest news, changes, and tips for Canadian pensioners. We have covered everything in simple language, no jargon, just the information you actually need. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an update that could affect your pension or your pocket. Now, let's get into today's video. Here's something that most Canadian couples never talk about, but probably should. Even it's harder to imagine, but that's the reality. Every person who comes to this world has to depart one day. If your spouse passes away before you, the government may owe you a monthly pension payment for the rest of your life. And yet thousands of surviving spouses across Canada either don't apply for it, apply too late, or apply incorrectly. And they lose money they are completely entitled to. In a moment, I'm also going to tell you about one small mistake that can cost a surviving spouse up to 12 months of back payments. So please stay with me because this information could be worth thousands of dollars to you or someone you love. Welcome. My name is Martina, and today we're talking about something that isn't easy to think about, but is genuinely important: the CPP survivor's pension. This is a monthly benefit that the Canadian government provides to the spouse or common law partner of someone who has passed away and contributed to the Canada Pension Plan during their working years. If you're married or in a long-term relationship, this video is for both of you, because understanding this benefit now, before it's ever needed, means the person left behind won't have to figure it out alone during one of the hardest moments of their life. Today, I'm going to walk you through who qualifies, how much money we're actually talking about, what steps to take right away when a spouse passes, and a few things that most people don't know about this benefit that could make a significant difference. And I'll come back to that mistake about back payments a little later, because it's one of the most avoidable and costly errors a surviving spouse can make. Keep watching. Let's start with the basics. What exactly is the CPP survivor's pension? Most Canadians know about the Canada Pension Plan as the monthly retirement income you receive based on your own working history, the contributions you made from every paycheck throughout your career. But here's something that surprises a lot of people. When a person who contributed to CPP passes away, their spouse or common law partner doesn't just lose that income stream entirely. The government provides a monthly survivor's pension as a form of continued support. This is not charity. This is a benefit that was built into the CPP system. A recognition that a surviving spouse shares in the financial legacy of their partner's lifetime of contributions. Your spouse worked, they paid in, and part of what they paid in is there to protect you if they are gone first. Now, who actually qualifies? There are two groups. The first is legal spouses, meaning people who were officially married to the person who passed away at the time of their death. The second group is common law partners, meaning people who were living together in a committed relationship for at least one continuous year, right up until the time of the death. Both groups have equal access to this benefit. There is no distinction in how much you receive based on whether you were legally married or common law. There is one exception worth knowing. If you were separated from your spouse, legally married but no longer living together, and a CPP credit split was officially approved starting in January 2025 or later involving the same person who passed away, you would generally not qualify. But for most couples who were together at the time of death, this simply isn't a concern. Does this apply to your relationship if you and your partner have been together for at least a year, whether married or common law? The answer is most likely yes. Now let's talk about money, because this is where it gets really important and where a lot of people are genuinely surprised. The amount you receive as a survivor's pension is not a flat amount. It depends on two things: how much your spouse contributed to CPP throughout their working life, and how old you are when your spouse passes away. Let's start with age, because this is the part that catches many people off guard. If you are 65 or older when your spouse passes, you receive 60% of what your spouse's CPP retirement pension was, or would have been. So if your spouse was receiving, say, $1,000 a month from their CPP, you would receive $600 a month as a survivor's pension. But if you are under 65 when your spouse passes, meaning you're still in your late 50s or early 60s, the calculation is a little different. You receive a fixed flat rate amount plus 37.5% of your spouse's pension amount. The reason for this difference is that the government uses a slightly different formula for younger survivors. Either way, it's real monthly income that continues for the rest of your life. Now, here's something very important that a lot of people don't know. And it matters if you're already receiving your own CPP, if you have your own CPP retirement pension and then become entitled to a survivor's pension as well. Those two amounts are combined into a single monthly payment, but, and this is crucial, there is a maximum combined limit. In 2026, that combined cap is just over $1,500 a month, so if your own CPP is already quite high, your total combined payment won't go above that ceiling. Service Canada does this calculation automatically, but it's important to understand so you're not caught off guard by the math. Let me paint a picture. Imagine a woman named Carol. She's 68, retired, and receiving her own CPP of about $600 a month. Her husband Robert passes away. Robert's CPP was around $800 a month. 60% of that is $480. Now, Carol's combined payment, her own pension plus the survivor's portion, would be calculated by Service Canada, and it would be capped at the maximum if the combined total goes over the limit. In Carol's situation, the total comes to just over $1,000, which falls under the cap. So she gets it in full. Every situation is different, but understanding the framework helps you know what to expect. Now let's talk about what to actually do when a spouse passes away, because this is where the process matters most and where mistakes happen. The first thing, and I mean the very first thing, is to notify Service Canada. I know that sounds clinical. I know that in the middle of grief, the last thing you want to think about is paperwork, but notifying Service Canada quickly has two important effects. It starts the clock on your survivor's pension, meaning your payments begin sooner. And it prevents overpayments, which means the government won't send money to your spouse's account after they've passed and then ask for it back later. Overpayments can be a real headache to sort out, especially when you're already dealing with so much. The phone number to call is 1-800-277-9914. Write that number down, save it somewhere, because when the time comes, it's one less thing to search for. When you call, or when you visit a Service Canada office, you'll want to have some key information ready. You'll need the deceased's social insurance number. You'll need a death certificate. You'll need your own social insurance number. You'll need something that shows your marital or common law status, a marriage certificate, or documents showing you lived together. And you'll need your banking information so your payments can go directly into your account. Don't let gathering these documents delay you from making that call. You can call first and gather documents second. Service Canada agents are genuinely helpful and will walk you through everything step by step. Now, there are actually 3 separate benefits you can apply for at the same time. And this is something a lot of people don't realize until too late. The first is the CPP survivor's pension. That's the monthly payment we've been talking about throughout this video. The second is the CPP death benefit. This is a one-time lump sum payment of up to $2,500 paid to the estate of the person who passed away. It's designed to help cover immediate costs, things like funeral expenses or other bills that come up right away. It's not a huge amount, but it's there and it's yours to claim. The third, and this one surprises many people, is the CPP children's benefit. If the person who passed away had dependent children under 18 or between 18 and 25, if they're in school full-time, those children may also be eligible for a monthly benefit. Even if the children are grandchildren in your care, it's worth asking about. The best approach is to apply for all 3 at the same time. Don't apply for one and think you'll come back for the others later. The paperwork can be done together, and getting it all in at once prevents delays and makes the process smoother. Now, I want to come back to something I mentioned right at the beginning. The mistake that costs surviving spouses up to 12 months of back payments, because this is so important and so avoidable. Here it is. If you wait too long to apply for the CPP Survivors Pension, Service Canada can only go back 12 months in time to backdate your payments. 11 months prior, plus the month you apply, to be precise. That's the maximum retroactive period. So imagine this. A man named Donald loses his wife in March. He's overwhelmed. He's managing the funeral, the legal paperwork, the family, everything at once. A year and a half goes by before someone tells him he's entitled to a survivor's pension. He finally calls Service Canada. They set up his payments, but they can only back pay him for 12 months. The 6 months before that, that money is gone. It cannot be recovered. Donald didn't do anything wrong. He was grieving. He just didn't know. And that lack of awareness cost him real money. Please don't let this be your story or the story of someone you love. The moment you feel ready to pick up the phone, even if it's just a few days after a loss, making that call to 1-800-277-9914 starts the process. You don't need to have everything perfectly organized. Just make the call. Let me share a few other things about this benefit that are genuinely reassuring because I think people worry unnecessarily about some of them. First, you do not lose your survivor's pension if you remarry or enter a new relationship. This is a very common concern, especially for seniors who eventually find companionship again after losing a spouse. The government will not take away this benefit simply because you've moved on. It was earned by your late spouse's contributions, and it belongs to you. Second, if you had more than one partner across your lifetime who passed away and who each contributed to CPP, you are only entitled to one survivor's pension at a time. Service Canada will pay you the larger of the two amounts, so you won't receive two survivor's pensions, but you will receive the one that benefits you most. Third, the survivor's pension is taxable income. It's not a huge surprise for most people, but it's worth knowing so it doesn't catch you off guard at tax time. Just like your CPP retirement pension, the survivor's pension gets added to your income for the year. If you're receiving other income as well, it may affect how much tax you owe. A simple conversation with a tax preparer can help you plan for this. And finally, if you have a My Service Canada account online, it's an incredibly useful tool for tracking your application once you've submitted it. You can see where things are in the process, update your direct deposit information, and manage your account details all from home. If you haven't set one up yet, it's straightforward to do at canada.ca. Let's take a moment to think about something a little broader. Why does any of this matter so much? Retirement in Canada for most people is built on a combination of income sources. Your CPP, your OAS, maybe a workplace pension, maybe some savings. When two people are living together on those combined incomes, the household budget works. But when one partner passes away, that balance can shift dramatically, sometimes overnight. If your household was relying on two CPP pensions and one disappears entirely with no survivor benefit, that's a significant gap in monthly income. Rent doesn't go down, groceries don't go down, utilities don't go down, but income does. The survivor's pension is designed precisely to cushion that blow, not to fully replace what's lost, but to ensure the person left behind isn't suddenly facing financial hardship on top of emotional grief. That's the real purpose of this benefit. It's about dignity. It's about making sure that the financial sacrifices a couple made together, the decades of work, the CPP contributions paid from every paycheck, translate into real protection when it matters most. Let's bring it all together. The CPP Survivor's Pension is a monthly benefit that surviving spouses and common law partners are entitled to when their partner passes away. The amount depends on your age and your spouse's contribution history. If you're 65 or older, you receive 60% of their pension. If you're younger than 65, a different formula applies. If you already have your own CPP, the two amounts are combined up to a maximum cap. The most important action is to contact Service Canada promptly at 1-800-277-9914 because delays can cost you up to 12 months of retroactive payments that you can never get back. Apply for the survivor's pension, the one-time death benefit, and the children's benefit all at once if they apply to your situation. Gather your documents, the SIN numbers, the death certificate, proof of your relationship, and your banking details. And know that this benefit is yours for life. Regardless of whether you remarry, this is not an easy topic to think about. But talking about it now, understanding it while there's no urgency, is one of the most caring things you can do for yourself and for your partner. Knowing what to do and when removes a layer of stress from an already incredibly difficult time. If this video helped you feel more informed and prepared, I'd encourage you to share it with someone you care about. A sibling, a friend, a neighbor going through a difficult time. This is exactly the kind of practical information that doesn't spread the way it should. And sharing it costs nothing but could genuinely help someone. And if you'd like to keep receiving clear, simple information about Canadian pension benefits, senior finances, and government programs, all explained in plain language without the jargon, consider subscribing to this channel. We cover new topics regularly, and everything we do is designed with you in mind. Thank you for being here. Take good care of yourself and your loved ones, and I'll see you in the next video.